How's it going, everybody? It is the 28th of September, 2022. It's Tactard Ted. I got a quickie for you today, folks. Do you know what is the most dangerous relationship that you can have with the United States government? A lot of you would think it would be an adversary or an enemy, but it's not. That's not. Because if you're an adversary or an enemy of the United States, you know that if the United States gets the opportunity, they're going to put the screws to you. And that's the way it is when you're an adversary. This is the way it is when you are a quote-unquote enemy, right? You expect the United States to do terrible shit. I would have to submit that the most difficult, the most dangerous position that you can have is to be an ally or partner of the United States. And as an American who loves America, I don't love the government, but I love America. I love the American people. I have no joy when I say this. I have no joy at all. In fact, I say it with a lot of shame. And it's just not something recent, folks. We have a long history of that. You know, we have a recent history. You want to talk to somebody that thinks that probably they didn't do justice to their own country by partnering with us, you might want to ask the Afghan National Army that. Yeah, you remember those guys. Oh, we're going to take care of you. We're going to help. We're going to do this. And then just ran. And, you know, the Biden administration let the Taliban break the agreements of the withdrawal, and didn't bring anything to bear. Just decided, hey, we're done, out of here, see ya. Yeah. Well, I agree that the war in Afghanistan had to end. I don't agree with the way in which we did it. We sold out the Afghans. Imagine that young lady who got an education during the 20 years we were there, and now she's being forced into a burqa. Imagine that. I bet she really thinks great about how reliance on the United States has really been a beneficial thing for Afghanistan. And if you want to go farther back in history, you might want to talk to some of your Vietnamese neighbors and see how they feel about their partnership with the United States and how we did really well by them at the end of that conflict in '75. You know, after a ton of assurances that we will help you. Yeah, you know, it'll never be a problem. And then we just walked away from it. We just walked away from it. I will tell you, here's the situation, guys. There's about to be another one added to that list. I venture to say, by January, a lot of Germans are going to be wondering just how beneficial it is to be a partner with the United States. Because we've just pretty much, with the attack on the two pipelines, have pretty much condemned the German economy to failure. And we're also condemning a lot of German citizens to a very, very, very unpleasant experience. Sucks to be cold, sucks to be hungry. To be hungry and cold and no hope of relief, that's going to suck real bad. And of course, the Germans didn't do this all by themselves. We helped. We're the ones who blew up the pipelines. The Germans are a little bit responsible because we allowed the Germans and the EU to indulge in this woke environmental bullshit, where they've turned their back on traditional energy and traditional energy in their country. Coal. No, can't burn coal. Terrible for the environment. Nuclear reactors, oh, we got to shut them down. Those are deadly. Those suck. The environment's so important. Hey, you know what? The environment of your fucking house when it's -3 fucking Celsius in the middle of fucking winter, and you haven't had anything substantial to eat because you can't afford that or your energy bill, that environment really sucks. You know, if you want to talk about environment, let's think about that environment. And we've allowed this shit to take root here. You know, we're basically destroying the economy of West Virginia. West Virginia probably. A lot of those folks, I'm sure, don't feel sorry for Germany. I mean, after all, embracing the woke-tard fucking environmental bullshit, which, by the way, if you want to go back to the environmentalist movement, and I'll need to mention this again, it's a big communist ploy. And, of course, you're going to say, no, Dave, you're full of shit. Well, guys, Earth Day is Vladimir Lenin's birthday, you know, the father of communism in the Soviet Union. That date was picked for a reason. It just wasn't accidentally that Earth Day is Lenin's birthday. It's not an accident. It's for real. It was chosen on purpose. And that's to pay homage to the fact that this whole environmentalist agenda is a communist idea. It's a communist plant. It's a communist ploy. And don't get me wrong, I'm a conservationist. I believe you have to take care of things. You don't litter, you don't throw trash out of your car. I also believe that we can't have, because we don't live off the land like we used to, we can't allow populations of certain animals to get out of control. So to be a conservationist, we harvest certain animals for food. And I do. Deer. I'm a member of PETA, People Eating Tasty Animals. Meanwhile, the environmentalists do more harm to the environment than they do conserve it. This is the problem. I don't want you going out to the woods to collect firewood, and I don't want you to clear away the underbrush. Well, in California, that's done real well for those folks. They have these wildfires that burn everything, and then they have mudslides because there is no vegetation on the hills to keep the water from rushing away. I mean, gee, it's realistic, and it's simple to lay out, but the environmentalists are right. And we allow them to think they're right instead of actually calling them out on their shit. So environmentalism, and the fact that we have embraced it, and that we try to look to Europe as some sort of positive example, and it's not. Then we turn around, we put the screws to Germany. The only shot they had at keeping their economy alive. And Biden blew it up. And if you don't believe me, Biden bragged before the war started that he would not let Nord Stream 2 exist. And Biden's finally fulfilled a promise at the expense of our German allies. Again, the most dangerous relationship to have with the United States is to be in a treaty or a partnership with them. And as Americans, I think we all need to be appalled by that. And we're letting it happen. It's election time. We should have these folks by the balls. We should be on the phones, burning up the phone, saying, hey, what do you guys think you're doing? We don't really need to have a wider conflict in Ukraine. But yeah, we're cranking it up every day. And we've got pedo Hitler out there. He's been screaming about nuclear war for since I guess it was May or June. But now it's Putin's rattling the nuclear saber. You know, amazing that I can remember things that were just a couple of months ago in the news, but a lot of other folks can't. And it really, really, really is becoming bothersome that some of you folks just don't want to stand up for yourselves. Nuclear war is going to be great for this country. It is going to be great for this country. It absolutely has to be. because apparently the Biden administration is all in on the concept. And that ain't gonna work. So anyhow, you folks take it easy. Bye.